All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for coming to our first solo meetup of the year in San Francisco, and the first one actually in 8 years. So, you don't know who I am and who we are. My name is Marco Palacios. I'm the president and co-founder of Pacific Hackers Association, and yeah, hopefully this is the first of many meetups that you're gonna come, and as we're growing, you're gonna see more chairs, more people in these meetups. So first and foremost, we have a no asshole room. So please treat everyone with respect. We're a family, we're a community. So again, we have freedom of speech, but sometimes we have to keep our thoughts internally. Okay, so again, treat everyone with respect. So who we are? We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're here to fix some issues in the cybersecurity field. Number one, diversity. We want more women in the field, more people of color. We want to fix the education system. We know there's a lot of programs out there for cybersecurity, but in reality, once the students graduate, they're not really ready to go into the workforce. So we're fixing that by providing these type of events. And we are also fixing the HR system, right? We want to make the direct connection with the hiring manager. So again, if someone's hiring, please let us know that you're hiring so we can send you people, okay? And now let's talk about the Pacific Hackers Meetup. I don't know how you find out about this. We posted on different sites. We posted on the DNA Lounge site. We posted in our meetup. We posted on Eventbrite. So I don't know how you find about our meetup, but I'll tell you a little bit about our meetup. We've been here, well, not here in San Francisco. We've been in the meetup space for 8 years now, mainly in the South Bay. So historically, we never came to San Francisco. There was a reason behind it. Prior to COVID, there were a lot of San Francisco cybersecurity or hacking meetups in San Francisco. But after the pandemic, pretty much everybody left, right? So, and we stayed, and now it's just time to come to the city and start growing our community here. Okay, so again, we do a lot of events. In fact, I did not update the ones I have here, but basically Thursday we have a meetup in CCSF. Friday we have a meetup in Oakland. Saturday we have a meetup in South Bay. So there's a lot going on. So as you will see. We're always looking for speakers, so for our upcoming meetups, if you would like to speak, if you want to share your knowledge, please use that QR code. I swear to God, all the QR codes I'm going to present today, they're not malicious. I know it's a hacking meetup, but they're not malicious. So please feel free to to scan those. Okay. Yeah. So again, if you want to share your knowledge, here's the QR code for that. We do a lot of community events. Last week, we had one with with OWASP at the SEMCREP headquarters. Next week, or actually on Thursday, we're going to have the one with WSIS CCSF chapter. Okay. And again, today we're going to do the CTF walkthrough here at DNA Lounge. Again, CCSF on Thursday and Friday we have a happy hour. So from 2 to 4, it's going to be women's only, and then from 4 on, it's going to be a happy hour. So please, join us. Also, if you have friends in the South Cal area, we're going to have our first, South Cal presence, and we brought SunsetCon. So it's a very small conference inside Scale, which is South California Linux Conference, and they've been running that conference for 22 years. So we're going to be there. We're going to have a portion there. So if you look at go to sunsetcon.org, we have the agenda already up. So I forgot to mention, but if you use the code PHAC, it gives you 50% code for 50% off, and that's for the whole Scale. Okay, it's not just for SunsetCon, it's for everything. Okay, just FYI. And then if you're in the South Bay on March 13th, we postponed these from last week to next month because weather did not play favorably at all. So for the pickleball event, all the courts were outside. And it was raining, so we couldn't use it. Okay. As we approach Visa San Francisco, we're going to have our own event on April 28th. It's called Hack the Bay. Fun story with this one, we came up with Hack the Bay for the first time last year, and it was going to be a 100-person event. Eventually they say, oh, you can bring 200 people, so we open it for more people. Long story short, over 500 people signed up, okay? And that meant that, we needed a bigger venue, so this year we're going to be in a different venue, just a couple of blocks from here, and so check it out. It's gonna be between Visa San Francisco and RSA, so definitely take a look at it. And last but not least, our Pacific Hackers Conference. This one always happens in South Bay. We're also looking for places in the area, so might not be South Bay, might be something in the middle. Who knows? We'll see. But for now, we have it for November 1st. So just keep that in mind that in the fall we always have our conference. And this is going to be our 6th-year anniversary, so definitely take a look at it. And we always like to thank our sponsors for making this happen, because we cannot do it without it. Okay? So thank you, and also thanks DNA Lounge for allowing us to have this meetup. This is the first of many that they're going to come throughout the year. So, and with that, I would always like to ask for your help. And it's not always about money. It's about spreading the word. Tell people who we are, that we have these meetups going every month. Send us referrals. If you're looking, if you have someone who's looking to get into the field, let us know. If you are hiring, please let us know that you're hiring, so we can please send you people. Share your knowledge. Again, this is a QR code. If you want to speak, believe me, many people that are now speaking at B-Sides, DEFCON, Black Hat, RSA, they have come through Pacific Hackers. Some of them forgot where they came from, but some of them know, the true ones, they know that they started here, a long time ago. Okay, so again, that can be you, right? And sponsoring, if your company likes to sponsor and stuff, please let them know that we always accept sponsorship. We have a Discord community, so if you're into Discord, that's where we have a small community, and we're slowly growing it. So please join our community. And again, if you want to get a hold of me, or I'm Markgraf in Discord. I'm always on LinkedIn, X, or you can have my email. All right. And with that, I just want to thank you again for coming up tonight. And to that, we have a great meetup with Alevsky and Max. So quick story in our CTF. So prior to January of last year, we did not have our own CTF. And I asked my team, hey, it's probably time to have our own CTF. And I asked my team to do it. So here's Alevsky and Max. And I gave them the task to be ready by November, because that's when our conference is. Well, all of a sudden we came up with Hack the Bay. And I said, guys, we don't have 11 months, we have only 2 months to come up with a CTF. And they did, and it's been very successful. We've been having the CTF in different events now, in our barbecue on CTF, pre-DEFCON barbecue, which happens in South Bay, and hopefully we'll have one here. We actually have one here, the same one at the Google, not headquarters, but Google building in SF, and then in our conference. So I'm happy to have this wonderful team. I have Levsky, we have Caitlin, we have Max, and again, there's many more that couldn't make it today, but again, thank you guys for making this happen. So with that, I'm gonna pass the floor to either Levsky or Max, whoever wants to start, and we'll get started. So thank you so much, and welcome.
Thank you, Marco. All right. Yeah. Before I start, I have a quick question. How do I put this? Is there anyone here that does not currently have access to a Linux command line? of any sort, like a Linux computer, Windows subsystem for Linux, Macintosh. Anyone not have access to that? The reason I ask is because basically we're going, for some of the walkthroughs I'll be going through, it's going to require the use of the Linux command line and some tools on the command line. They aren't required to solve the challenges, but they're required for the walkthrough. So that's the only reason I brought it up. Anyway, let's. Marco gave a little bit of an introduction to the CTF, but let me start by. I'm sure most of you know, but for those who don't, CTF stands for Capture the Flag. It's supposed to be an interactive hacking game and sandbox that allows you to learn hacking techniques and skills in a safe environment where you're not breaking laws, and also something that will try to help you enable you to develop these skills without just dumping you in the deep end and, you know, doing bug bounties for Tesla, for example. As Marco mentioned, this was originally created for Hack Bay last year, and we've since run it at many conferences since, creating new challenges for it, redesigning the platform, redeveloping it. Levski's done a great job with the infrastructure. I've been mostly focused on the challenge development, and we have many other people working behind the scenes, contributing challenges as well. The most recent time we ran it was at the Pacific Hackers Conference in November last year, and we had a lot of people coming up to us, as you do at the end of a CTF, asking for answers and write-ups. As usually, we encourage people who had solved these challenges to talk and share with their fellow CTF players and share answers. In fact, perhaps even creating write-ups and publishing them publicly on the internet for the sake of anyone else who may be interested in learning how to hack a website or reverse engineer binary. But there are some challenges that weren't solved, and some write-ups that flew under the radar. So Alevsky and I were going to pick a specific subset of the CTF challenges that were created, specifically the most popular ones, and run through them with all of you to kind of spread the knowledge and show you basically a little taste of what this CTF was that we all built. Now, before I start, the full platform for this game is up and running at pacifichackers.com. You can all go to it now if you haven't already. When you go there, you will need to, in order to participate, you need to sign up as a user and then create a team. They can be the same name. It's not really that important. But once you do that, you can go to the challenges page on the top bar, and it will list all the challenges we have. Typically, Capture the Flag competitions are broken up into specific categories with specific challenges each, Jeopardy style. But some CTFs have other ways of doing it, but that's beyond the scope of this talk. Anyway, we have a wide variety here. The badge challenge is some hardware hacking related to the Pacific Hackers badge. Bash crawl is some very basic Linux war game training and challenges. Crypto is cryptography, cryptography of all forms. Alevsky is going to be going over those mainly. Exploitation is mostly general exploitation. This includes binary exploitation such as buffer overflows, return to libc kind of things, but also other programmer vulnerabilities. Reverse engineering, if you like to use IDAPRO or Ghidra, this is the These are the challenges for you. There's social engineering. These were conference specific. Won't be going over them today. And second to last is web application hacking. These are the challenges that I was going to start out with. They're developed by one of our CTF developers. His name is Cameron. He's absolutely brilliant. These challenges were put together with a lot of thought and care, and I'm really excited to show you them. Each one has a scenario where there's a website, and the website has something like a login page, or it has some other web page hidden behind some kind of authentication, or maybe it allows you to do weird things with the page and the JavaScript. And the whole point is to just go to the web page and mess around with it and see if you can break it. And then the last one's also one that you can't try out right now. We need to have a physical hardware set up. But basically, for this talk, I want to encourage you all to try out these challenges, whichever seems interesting to you. Click on it. The platform gives you all the information to get started. If you think that you found a flag, this is our goal, is to find a flag or a string of characters that is unique and will look very suspicious. You enter it in power to get points. Or you can follow along step-by-step walkthrough that I will be doing up here. I guess to start, what I mainly want to ask is, I've seen a lot of new faces here. There's some people I remember from the conference, but most of you are, I'm happy to see, are new faces. So I'm kind of wondering, did anyone here attend Pacific Hackers Conference 2024 and play the CTF? No one? All right. Oh, I remember you. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. The reason I'm asking that is because we don't have time to go through all of the web app and the cryptography challenges. So I wanted to ask if any of you had a preference. If there's any challenges you tried that you struggled on, you really want to know the answer to. Basically, the way it's set up is we have one easy challenge, the dev robots, 2 medium, and 1 hard. So if there wasn't a preference, I was just going to start with the easy challenge. Sound good? Cool. All right, let's get started. So the very first, the easiest challenge, I suppose, well, easy is relative, of course, but we'll say the simplest challenge in this challenge set is called the dev robots. Let's look at the synopsis. We have the dev robot to value our security. However, recently it appears that someone was able to bypass our security and gain access to confidential information. Could you demonstrate to us how this is possible? Maybe we misunderstood something. Here's a note under here that no uneducated brute forcing or / fuzzing of the website is necessary to solve this. This is a note put here to be nice to our infrastructure, because in hacking, you may want to boot up Kali and run Hydra and a bunch of fuzzers like GoBuster on the website. I encourage you to do that in other situations, but please don't do it here. It won't get you the flag. I promise you that. Now, that being said, all you need to start is the link. Go to the devrobots.ctf.pacifichackers.com. Going to the website, we have a little description. Specializing sophisticated software for robotic applications. Team of engineers, developers, pushing boundaries, yada yada, you know, just corporate jargon, I suppose. So first thing we do is kind of look around the page, see if there's anything interesting that stands out. We've got a little menu here, home page, there's an about page, maybe there's more context here. I encourage you to read through, or at least scan, read through, scan, or copy and paste the text into ChatGPT and have it summarize it for you to kind of get an overview of what's being said here. In the top it says, founding year, pioneering advancements, real-world problems, web design, software engineering, robotic systems. They're proud of secure systems, including innovative uses of robots.txt to manage web crawlers effectively on our site. This line stands out to me as someone that plays CTFs a lot, because is anyone familiar with robots.txt? Yeah, all right. Quite a few of you. It's basically a text file that is included in most web pages that tells web crawlers like Google, DuckDuckGo, what web pages not to index. This is usually stuff like admin pages, login forms, stuff like that. And we can actually check it out, because what's interesting about robots.txt is it's just a suggestion. Usually people put stuff here to disallow web scrapers from accessing them, but we're not a web scraper. We can access whatever we want. Here it says this should restrict the internet from accessing our Git repo. It's disallowing .git. Well, what happens if we, just try to go to pacifichackers.com/.git? Would you look at that? A directory structure, a directory listing. That's interesting. And it's got things like a commit edit message, head, config, index, kind of like a Git directory. So, how is this important? First and foremost, we know that the website clearly stated in the robots.txt that they don't want people accessing this Git repo. Now, why might that be? How many of you here are familiar with Git? That's a command line tool. A lot of you, yeah, maybe a little bit. So basic summary is it's a command line tool used to work with GitHub and other code management platforms to manage versions and basically allow multiple developers to work together asynchronously throughout the internet. Which is a simple, functionally, the way that Git works is you run git init, and it will initialize a repository and store the configuration data in a folder called .git, as we can see here. And this folder has a lot of interesting information. It has information about source code, the different changes, source code, different changes made in source code over time, who made those changes and their emails. A lot of potentially sensitive information that could be dangerous to people that may want to hack your website or try to steal your data. Generally, you should never really make Git repositories public unless you explicitly define them to be. So what can we do with this? Well, we can look in each of these folders and kind of see what there is. Info, a couple files here. Objects. let's see. Basically, yeah, I'll probably have to open my downloads folder to look at this. Index. If we open up. Let's see. I'm trying to transition into another tool that may be useful. We could come in here, download each of these files, go into objects, each of these directories, download each of these files, try to piece together all of this data, and put it in a folder like this, the Git directory, or we can use a tool that automates this. There's plenty of tools out there. This one is called Git Dumper. It's a tool to dump a Git repository from a website. Basically, what it will do is you give it the name of a website. It will go to it, find the .git folder, and enumerate through all those files, scraping all of their data and downloading it. Now, this is where I mentioned you're going to want a Linux machine because this tool requires Python, and it is a command line tool. So, basically, all you need to do is go to github.com/artpod/gitdumper and run a pip install or pip3 install. You might have to do that in a virtual environment. And then once you have that, it looks like you run it, just run it on a URL. So I already have it installed. Before I continue, because we had someone that had trouble with this last time, does anyone want help? Does anyone need help installing Python or installing a tool using Python? Because I could go over and show you how to install this step by step, or we can just. Okay, you'd like some help?
Well, just a question.
Yeah.
You
You don't have a computer, fair enough.
Did you get dash mirror with the same thing URL?
Dash mirror?
Yeah, I think that you get dash mirror with just like whole directory.
Oh. Good idea. Let me try
It
that.
has flags for redirects and shit like that.
I tried a couple of variations of it. I think the client tool that you recommended is a lot easier. Like that was literally like one invocation and you have the exact replica of the picture of it. But otherwise, I think wget will skip the hidden directory of .git or something.
Yeah, I think so.
So like I was fine like trying to find the flags. That was easier.
Cool. Yeah, there are multiple ways to solve these challenges, of course. You can do wget. Functionally, it does the same thing. However you do it is your way. But point is, I want to get this Git repo on my local computer so I can use the Git command to play with it. So let's run Git Dumper on our good old on the file we found. Oh, right, directory. Looks like you need the output directory. I'll just call it temp2, I guess. Okay, it looks like that worked. All right, we have a Git folder, a Git ignore, and another folder in here. This is interesting. I don't know if www was a folder on the remote. Let me just check. No, it isn't. So this is where Git folders are cool. They store file information. And so Git Dumper was actually able to pull the files that would be in this remote Git repository. Here we can see the source code, index.php, login.php, robots.txt. This is amazing. If you have source code, there's so many goodies you can find in there. Let's check login.php. So it looks here, we got a form, username, password. It looks like, scrolling through here, there's a session start function. Server request method is post. Post is usually used to send data to a form, like a login or a registration. Checks the username and password. Seems to check it against this MD5 encoded password. And if it's authenticated, then it sends you to admin.php, otherwise it says invalid credentials. Okay, so this is probably the MD5 hash of the password to the admin account. This is interesting. Now, I may be able to take this hash and run it on, like, run hashcat on it and maybe try to guess the password here. But we're not done looking through all of the code. So here's another thing that's interesting about Git. Not only does it show you the current state of the code, it also shows you previous states when it was changed. So let me just check this Git repository to see, I'll run a git log command to see kind of the log of the Git commits. Here we have at the very top, this is the latest commit. It was made by Cameron, that's the challenge author. Make website editor formatting fixes, okay. Make a robot.txt file for security, that was the previous commit. Remove hard-coded credentials. Well, that's interesting. Someone hard-coded some credentials in here? You gotta be very careful with committing any kind of credentials to a repository because once they're committed through Git, they're technically there forever in the log, as you can see here, unless you want to recreate the repository from scratch. So now this is interesting. If there's hard-coded credentials, maybe there's some information in the code before this commit that would allow us to log in as admin. But how can we look at the code at this commit? Does anyone have any suggestions? Maybe git commands or
Git show.
what was that?
Git show.
Git show. So maybe like git show and then the commit ID?
Yeah.
Well, look at that. This shows us the contents of this commit and all the changes that were made. And that's very interesting. It was only one change. It changed this line, which checks to see if the password is equal to a very complex password.
Can you highlight the whole line? It's not visible on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's red. Wait, how?
You can just like drag, yeah. Oh, never mind.
I don't know if that helps. Oh dear.
Can you copy it to your line there?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, it looks like that. So change that into, instead of checking the password directly, you check with MD5, which is of course what you should do. But the problem is, it doesn't matter because it's in the git log and we can still see the old password anyway. So why don't we take this password and try it on the website and see if we can log in as the administrator. Just go up to that, click the login, username admin. Ta-da! We're in the admin page. You know, I probably should have shown you that. That wasn't a fluke by trying to log in as admin. It's something you should always try. Just try random credentials. So that won't work. You need the actual password. And yeah, and that's the end of the challenge. Here on this page, it shows you the secret to all of our design, which is a string, a unique string text. in our platform, you can recognize a flag by the text PHACK, PHAC, followed by open curly braces and some random text inside. And basically, if you want to earn points, you copy that and go back to the platform and just paste it in there. And that's a challenge. And that was a simple challenge. Does anyone have any questions about that or anything else you want me to show off? Basically, a simple credential exposure attack using the Git command line tools. Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably a bad practice for people to be serving their tools.
Yeah.
You're deploying correct tools.
Yeah. This is not a good practice. If you're deploying on, say, Apache or Nginx, you should not have your Git repository in the same place that all your static files are served. You should have that in a separate place and copy the files over or soft link them. Yeah, you should never, and at the very least, you should have, even if you do, for whatever reason, want to have a Git folder in the same folder that you're serving files, you should at the very least create an explicit disallow rule in that server itself. But it's best to just leave it out. As a matter of fact, it's best practice to just never serve any files that you don't want to. Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. Or don't serve any files you don't need to serve. Yeah, Leslie.
Yeah, just a quick comment to that point. This issue is more common than we believe because I see hundreds or thousands of containers that whenever they are building them, they just copy everything that is on the source to the destination, and sometimes they even copying the whole Git repo instead of containers, right? So whenever they push that to the buffer file or whatever registry, and you can pull the container, you can just analyze the whole history of the application. Right? So it's sometimes it's not even rolling file to a server to FTP. The container itself has the connection.
Gotcha, yeah. So in their Docker file, they just specify the whole folder to be copied over.
Yeah, the container image itself has the Git repo. You can use it to extract it.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, it's something to look out for, especially if you want to serve this in a Docker container. Make sure you're only putting files into the Docker container that you need to be there. You want to be there. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the easy challenge, and with that, I'll probably hand it over to Alevsky now to show you some of his crypto challenges. And our plan was kind of to just go through these until we run out of time or you all get bored. We've got plenty of content.
Yeah. We can take a quick 5 minutes break when I sit up there. Yeah, you're welcome.
Cool. Quick break.
Quick announcement. So I do have 5 tickets for the bar. So first come, first serve. So get you anything. There's water in there. There's speakers.
The one that asked a question or something.
Oh yeah.
He asked a question.
The one, yeah, he participated. So who else has a question? We'll go by that. Actually, that's actually pretty cool. So if you participate, you get free something, whatever that is. So we have 5. Yeah, we have 5. So if you participate.
I asked a question.
Oh, here you go. All right. Who else? Next. Who else participated? Oh, Nalevsky doesn't count. Ooh. All right. Who else? Sure.
Well, you answered the question, but you
Yeah.
didn't participate.
I don't know. It's your fault.
I mean, that was just a suggestion. You can say the CTF.
I think it counts.
I think I give a ticket to
All
anyone who
right.
asks.
Can you pull the dashboard once your question?
Okay, whoever solved at least one challenge in the CTF.
I solved it.
You connected?
Oh. But I mean, we have the
Survey challenge doesn't count.
we have people that played
I got
last
the
time.
last game.
It's not accurate.
You were demoing before.
And
Oh.
we didn't clean the.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, sweet. You were ahead of. You were ahead of me.
I think you have to.
The resolution. Yeah.
No, the resolution, but mirror, so you'll see.
Oh, yeah, those are.
Yeah. But this thing takes
Oh, that's you.
like 5 minutes.
The other ones are.
Need to get a new one, but I replaced
As you can see, those are
it.
like
The way I asked people to take
This is
time.
a
Yeah,
very easy
it's gonna eventually. It's gonna.
Oh, evasion.
No.
It's not a USB.
It's gonna work there.
Or like not something.
It's lazy like me.
Well, DC 510, I am. Here, I can just check.
Okay, I guess you didn't put in any flags and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Someone came in on this. Submitted something on something.
Yeah.
That was you? Yeah. DC 510.
No, it's today. No. It says February.
Time is relative.
Let me restore my computer.
It's alright, I can see all the submissions that happened today. Yeah, DC 510. Solve the first crypto challenge. You solved the first crypto challenge. Yep, you solved it before me. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty relaxed. Pocket full. Yeah, and if anyone wants me to post the answers on the Discord server afterwards, thank you. We have some resources there. So how do you refresh the people that question sets like every session, like every CTF? Yeah, we were able to reuse some of them for the most part. It's a new set of questions, just a short mix. Yeah, yeah. Basically, our next plan is this year's hackathon, so we're developing new challenges for that. You said you're primary question. Yeah, well, I'm more like managing question printers at this point. I'm not writing most of them. I really just wrote the exploitation challenges. Cameron did the web challenges. Levski did crypto. It takes an effort. It takes ability.
Not like
Oh yeah. Well, I can mention that maintenance.
Changed.
We're
How did
also
you change the resolution?
Yeah, I said it to 1080 también.
Yeah.
1080.
Do you have any ideas for
I think the problem is
game played?
can I try with the original HTML? Makes it
Oh yeah. Totally.
Okay.
It's like
Puzzle master. It's like
puzzle master. Exactly. Game master. Yes. Yeah. You're not just breaking something. You have to build a game to show people how to break it. Exactly.
Oh, go ahead and connect it, yeah.
Es que aquí debería salir la imagen al menos. Solo sale el mouse. Voy a reiniciar de nuevo. Voy a reiniciar.
Okay. All right, we have some technical difficulties. Vamos a ver si.
Voy a reiniciar así con esta. Si no, creo que puedo conectar en otro laptop.
Okay. Pues lo clear.
Sí,
Okay. All right. I'll pull the dashboard here. Who's participating on the CTF?
somebody like submitting flags. Nice.
Cool. All right. What's your handle? Or
B.
B, number 9.
all right. And what about you?
My group or team is DC 510.
Oh, scroll down.
That's up or down?
It's number 10.
Number 10.
Oh, okay.
That's
Good. All right.
510.
Well, here you go. You earned a ticket. Who else is participating in the CTF? No? Well, guys, this is where you learn.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Marco and Max already give a couple of already give an introduction of about the CTF and what's about. So I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna go over a couple of the crypto challenges. The one that people like most probably they solved. There is a couple of them that they are still haven't solved. So those ones we're gonna save it for other time. So the crypto challenges, as Max said, I try to make it in a way that is like fun, like creating some like a fun story, a little bit of storytelling. So you are welcome to go and read about that. But I'm gonna focus on giving you the solution, right? The step by step, the methodology of how to approach these type of challenges. And if you go to the first one or level 1, this one is called level 1, right? And for people that don't know, when you face like a string like this, first of all, like if somebody knows like what type of format is this that I'm selecting, it's pretty common, right? Like we have seen it, like maybe in some network packages or in maybe some like source code. But specifically, this type of format is called base64, and it's very useful to change the representation of different characters, so you can like transmit data like over a channel without like messing around with character, right? So there is multiple ways to solve this challenge, and this is very easy because it's number one. So one way you can do it is you can use the CLI. Every Linux machine has a has a utility called base64 decode, but there is also websites that work for that. So let me use a website. You can just copy the string there, and you can decode it, right? So the solution basically is the decoded representation of the flag, which is base64 is null encoding or encoding is null encryption. And the idea here is that I have seen a lot of times in which in source code, like developers try to use base64 or any other type of encoding as a substitute for encryption, right? And we all know that it's not even that it doesn't offer any security property by default, right? Like there is no cryptographic primitive associated to that, right? So I was trying this on my CLI and for some reason it didn't work. Let me check back again. So if I do this, okay, this works fine. Base64. Yeah, it worked. You can also use the CLI to do that, right? Like sometimes, like you don't have access to the internet, but your Linux system has everything that you need most of the time, right? So that was pretty easy, right? But for people that doesn't know, hopefully they learn something new. So after that, now we're gonna move to level number 2. Level number 2 is when things start getting a little bit more technical in the sense of cryptography. I'm not a cryptographer by any means. I just know a little bit of cryptography. I use it as a software engineer. Like most of the knowledge that I have is applied cryptography. I know what crypto primitives to use, like what they offer you, like what are they good for, when to use it, when not to use it, right? So in this challenge, what they are giving us is a file. So I'm gonna download this file. This file is here. I'm gonna open it. Actually, let me try to copy it. So I already solved this challenge, but I'm doing it again. So if we open the file, what we see is just a set of coordinates, right? Coordinates, and then like a long string that we don't know what it is yet, but it's the same, right? So like all the file is like that. Like just a set of 3 coordinates and a long string. So let's go back to our challenge. So the challenge says that basically there is some coordinates that we need to verify. They are giving us the file, but the file may be corrupted. So it's very clear that the task is for us to somehow compute using an algorithm to make sure all those coordinates, all those hashes in this case correspond to the associated coordinate, right? So if somebody, like from these hints, and there is like hints, I think here. Yeah, there is one here that is the format, is the flag. Does somebody knows where this challenge going to? Like where is this pointing to? Like what do we need to do? An idea? Question? Remember, you can get a free drink. Something. So usually when you, for example, go to a website and you download, let's say like an ISO image, right? Like an operating system image. With the file, there is also a big string called like a checksum, right? Does anybody know what's the usage for that checksum? This is just an example. What the usage for that checksum?
Just to verify the integrity of the item.
Exactly, right? So you can make sure that nobody tampered that file, right? And you are downloading the correct file, right? Yeah, that's one example. Another example is, for example, I don't know if somebody has seen like GWT tokens, like JSON Web Tokens. Usually they also come with a hash that if you modify something and then when you are calculating again the integrity, it won't match, right? So that's another example. We can go like, for example, let me see if there is some example here. Like if you see JSON Web Tokens, like these are encoded in base 64, but you can also tell this is immediately a JSON Web Token because how they start. So for example, let me copy this and open this website. You can see like the different parts of the JSON Web Token, right? Like the red, the purple, and the blue one, right? Each one of that like has like the data and the integrity. So in this case, now that we know a little bit of what's the integrity role in all of this, the next thing that we have to do is we already download the file. We basically see like, okay, so these are the coordinates, and this is the integrity hash, right? The integrity string. So I'm gonna do this. The second thing that we need to know is what type of hash we are dealing here. Does anybody has like an idea? How can we know what are
The
we?
website where you can check to see the hashes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. There is multiple websites. There is multiple ways to solve this, but one that I know about is hash identifier. So I think you can just throw the hash at it, and it's gonna tell you this. Potentially, this hash is like a SHA-512, right? These hashing algorithms, there is a family of them. And they are basically this cryptographic operation that takes one input, applies some mathematical operation, and generate a fixed output in length, right? Doesn't matter like how big is the input. There is a convention in which the output will always be a fixed length, right? And they are very useful because with only one bit that you flip in the input, it's gonna give you a complete different output. There is, of course, a lot of like attacks associated with this, such as like collisions and stuff like that. But SHA-512 tends to be like pretty secure still. They haven't, not that I know if they are broken it already, but like it seems that we are dealing here with SHA-12, right? So let's go back to our challenge. What the challenge is asking us is, again, like we have the set of coordinates, and we have all the hashes, right? So we need to identify the one that is corrupted, meaning the one that once we compute the hash using this function that I'm gonna tell you about in a second, doesn't match, right? And that will be the solution. So another important thing that we need to mention here is that this technique is called HMAC, or hashing messaging authentication code. And basically, at a very high level, you just get like an input, like a message, like some secret code that is going to be a shared secret between two parties, and then you compute the hash, right? And then you transmit that over the channel. So that goes in clear text, like your message is clear text, and you append the hash, and that travels on the channel, and then the other side. Basically, as you mentioned, you can compute the hash for the image, And if the hashes are the same, that means nobody tampered with that. So any idea how can we do this computation? Like there is multiple ways to solve this challenge. Like any idea that how would you do it? You want to say something?
So we use an online tool to take the coordinates and
Yes.
generate shop code.
Yes. Usually I will like write like some Python, and when I was designing this challenge, I write the Python code. But then I was lazy, and I saw that actually in the last meetup I was able to solve all this challenge like by using like a tool like CyberChef. If you are not familiar with CyberChef, it's a very cool tool. It has a lot of string manipulation, like utilities here, like for example, the base64 encoding challenge that we mentioned, you can solve it using CyberChef. So you just put your input here, you look for the tool on the left, and then you can use drag and drop. And we have the solution here, right? Let me know if you can see it, or it's too small, I guess. But yeah, the cool thing, or why CyberChef is so powerful, is that you can like chain all these different string manipulation functions. Like for example, here I'm decoding, but then I can encode it back again, and then I can decode back again. So you can like chain all of them. So it's a pretty powerful tool. So, all right, let's continue. So we have our file here, right? Our corrupted file. The first thing that I will do is I will extract the coordinates to calculate the HMAC by myself. There is multiple ways that you can do that. You can like manually copy and paste. You can use obscure like Linux CLI tricks. You can write Python to parse it. So let me see if I still know the commands. But one way that you can do that is, I have it here, right? So I can use the Linux AWC out command, so I can like basically extract everything that is like on the first column of the file. And I already have like a utility here to like copy into my clipboard, right? So all this is the coordinates. Just to be clear, all this is the coordinates of the file. So I can just go here and copy like all my coordinates, right? I'm not doing anything with them yet. So I can start now playing with CyberChef and applying all these algorithms or crypto functions, right? So the one that I'm looking for, I'm talking about, is called HMAC. So as I say, it's pretty cool because it even gives you like some description here, right? What is HMAC? Yeah, key hash message authentication codes, a mechanism for message authentication using cryptography hash functions. Very cool. So the challenge is giving us here. I think there is a hint here that it mentioned that the secret or the shared secret is the password from the previous challenge, right? So we have to use that. That's gonna be our secret. So we go back, we paste it here, and then here is where we basically we analyze the existing hashes, and we know that here we are dealing with SHA-512, right? So we are almost there, but we have a problem. Does anybody knows what's the problem here? So what CyberChef is doing basically is grabbing the whole input, which is like the multiple lines, and computing all of that and creating a single hash output. But what we want in here is basically for every single coordinate. For every single coordinate, we have a single hash, right? So that's a problem. Last meetup, I learned how to fix it. Thanks, Max. But like before continue, does anybody has any question? What I'm saying is making sense to you, or you feel like I'm lying to you? Yeah?
You're a liar.
You're a liar. So yeah, like I want to focus like for you to understand like at the fundamental level, like what's the what's the methodology to solve this kind of challenges, right? Like from identifying like what you have to do, like from the challenge description, identifying the different like security components that are part of the challenge, like in this case, cryptography, hashing messages, authentication code, like what are the elements, all of that. So you can reach a solution, right? So, okay, now we have this problem. The way to solve this is CyberChef has this very cool function that basically will apply the previous function, the HMAC function, for every single output. I think it was this one, right? Fork.
You have to put it before.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, we have all the hashes here now. So what I have to do is now, I'm gonna copy this right now. I'm gonna create a new file that is called good hashes, let's say. I'm gonna paste all of these there. And I'm gonna extract the previous hashes in a old file. Good hashes. So now I have two files, like good and old. But I'm gonna rename it to, instead of old, bad. Okay. So now I have to compare those two files, right, and see which one is different. Does anybody know how to do that? Like, again, there is multiple ways to do that. Your machine, your Linux distro has a command to help you do that. Do you remember which one it is? Yeah, exactly, right? If, and then we can say good, and then bad. We can scroll. I think something went wrong here. Let me get. So good hashes, and my good hashes are there. Unless I make a mistake, let me start again. So yeah, like what?
It looks like one might have a space before each entry.
Yeah, corrupted.
Maybe it's part of the law.
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, these ones doesn't look bad. Okay, let me.
This file is correct. It should start 129. It's correct.
Yeah, 1,200. And let me copy the hashes from CyberChef. And I'm gonna create a new file here. Oh, okay. I think
that's
there is one more. Let me see what's. There is an extra here. Okay.
Does it start 129?
Yeah, this one has an extra, like an extra element. And now this one originally has 100 elements, 101, sorry. So actually I know how to solve this.
Might not match up.
Yeah, it's not right.
Let me delete everything. Okay, so I think now it should work.
Realize me. I think I noticed something in your cyber show.
Oh, let me go back.
On the secret, you haven't specified the
Oh,
specs.
yeah. Oh,
Or
yeah,
the
yeah.
2TFA.
So yeah, it has to be, yeah, you're right.
You put it to basic 64.
Yeah, base 64.
Oh, yeah.
So, actually, this is a good opportunity to learn, right? What was the error here? Like we have, like the hash message authentication code is not gonna tell you you are using the wrong password, right? It's just gonna take whatever you are passing as a password and compute all the new hashes using that. So in this case, yeah, I was using, I think I believe it was hexadecimal,
Yeah.
and then it was using this value as hexadecimal. But now I'm using base 64. Now let me update my, that was the reason why all the hashes were different, right? And why it didn't work. So let me do this again. Let me update. Let me update the hashes. Now, I think, yeah, now it works, right? It's telling you, I think one of these, now I can search for it, like for example,
Not that one. The other one.
the other one, yeah. the different
Sorry,
one.
above. Go to above this.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me open the original corrupted archive, and if I search for this one, this is what the diff command gives us, right? So in theory, I should be able just to copy. I calculate all the hashes, and this one is the one that is wrong. So I can copy this back into our challenge. It's telling us to do it this way, right? And yeah, now we are solved, right? So I'm sorry, I designed this challenge like a year ago, so I don't remember. But yeah, thank you so much for your help. So yeah, but the idea or the takeaway of this, I guess, is like to understand like what are the inputs that this function use, right? Like the different formats that you can use. Like this is intentionally do it in a way that in the challenge ones, you have to learn something that is called base 64, right? And then in the challenge number 2, you have a key that you can input in base 64 format or in hex or whatever, and you have to be very careful of that. Otherwise, it's not gonna work as we saw here, right? Like I was using the wrong encoding method, right? And then after that, like you understand, like you know, like what is HMAC about? Like you take one input, it's gonna give you like a fixed length output, and it's gonna generate the same over and over, right? Unless you change one bit, then in this case, we identify what was the hashing that was wrong, right? And that was the answer. So yeah, that's the end of the second crypto challenge. I think for this, we can take another 5-minute break. I think we can go back to the work challenges. Yeah, I hope you learned something new, and you can ask questions. I forgot to ask questions if you have. Does anybody has additional questions? If not, we can take 5.
And I didn't realize there is a drink that for Austin it's called Capture the Flag.
Oh, nice.
Baker's Mark, bourbon, ginger ale, bitters, and lime. And looks like this. And she tried it and she liked it. So yeah, give it a try. So it's called the Capture the Flag.
Yeah, there is a crypto level 3 challenge, but maybe we can do this. I need to remember what's the solution for it, and we can do it after the web challenges if you still want to go through this. If not, you're welcome to test it too.
Yeah. We should have enough time for one more web challenge and then one more crypto.
Yeah.
And once again, for the new members, just going, there's stickers here and water over there. And, yeah. You go for the meeting. Yeah. Go downstairs. Go to the pizza place.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
This seems kind of interesting. Is there a website?
Yeah.
PacificHackers.com.
Well,
.org.
.org actually.
Oh, .org is our org, yeah.
Okay. Is it like
Here, something what I want to
try
We
hacking
either
website?
develop, either
Well,
we
we make this.
this one's even better.
It's our meetup, our nonprofit. I show my jacket. It's behind me.
If we do another meetup on game hacking, we should do it when you see.
We should repeat this other meetup.
Yeah.
Maybe the guys downstairs.
Maybe we should just like mislead everyone and call them this is the game development.
What we do is we schedule ourselves adjacent to the game developer meetup as well, like last time, except we switch the rooms. So we say that room is Pacific Hackers meetup, and this room is it's not called GDC. It's like, sorry, what was the name? Like, it's a meetup.
It's just some San Francisco game developers meetup, something generic.
GDM. GDM.
We
Okay.
should host a game hacking meetup and call it San Francisco Game Development Hackers.
San Francisco Game Development Hack. Yeah, that rolls off the tongue. Let's keep working on that. All right. Looks like we're all settled back in. So let's jump into a new challenge. So we did the easy web app. Perfect. Thanks, Marco. The easy web app hacking challenge. Now we have a couple options. There's two here. One is named Flasked, and the other is named Based. And Flasked is medium, Based is hard, but they both have a similar challenge. They coming right off of the cryptography challenges, these require exploiting JWTs, or JSON Web Tokens, in some manner. So that could be relevant. I could cover Flask, the easier one, or we have another challenge called Artist. And this one involves hacking a website that has an interactive drawing whiteboard. So let's do a vote. Who wants me to show you Flask? Raise your hand. Okay, who wants to see Artist? That's pretty even. All right, I'll do the tiebreaker. Artist is kind of cool, and I want to. Alevsky's going to do a lot of cryptography, so we get plenty of that. But I want to show you this one because it's more unique. Very simple description. I made this super simple website for all of my artist friends. How creative can you get? And also, this one has a handout, which is very useful because this is actually the source code. So in the last one, we had to scrape the source code from the website, but in this one, he's just giving it to us. This is mostly so we can have an aspect of code analysis, because a lot of the times these websites or these web apps will have public code on GitHub that you can look at, and that can be a really good place to look for vulnerabilities. We'll just copy this. One moment. What's it called? Okay, so we have the source code, and the website looks like this. Artful, welcome to the most simple drawing experience of your life. Let your creativity flow below. And it has a little, has a little canvas. If you click here, you can draw little stick figures, you can draw things that may or may not be allowed to be shown on a projector screen. Anyway, and you can clear it and erase and undo and all this stuff. Yeah. So anyway, but that's not what we're here for. We are planning to use our creativity in other ways. So let me see. I want to ask you, in checking this website for stuff that might be exploitable, what should I look at first? Just any suggestions, like
Robot.txt.
what?
Robot.txt.
Oh yeah, robots.txt. Perfect. Let's check it. Nope, nothing there.
Page source code.
Page source, yes. When you on any web browser, if you hit F12, it will open up the page source code, which includes the HTML, the page. Well, it's mainly the developer console, really, because it has HTML source code, it has a JavaScript console, JavaScript source code. It shows network packets like this, with all the requests and responses, and plenty of good stuff. So if we look here, if we look at the request, we can kind of get an overview of everything that's being sent back to us from the server running this. When we make a GET request to the website, we get these are the request headers. This is what my web browser is sending to the server, including stuff like the user agent. I'm using Firefox on Linux, and the response headers. Here we have stuff like content links, transport security, but boring stuff. This doesn't tell us much. Actually, it might tell us much, but personally, I'm not too familiar with it. You can check cookies. The response is the web page. There's nothing that sticks out to me here. In the inspector, if we look at the source code, we can probably expand all. I wonder if I can do that. We can kind of look at all the things that might be hidden. This is the header of the document that we saw up there. This is the canvas container. There's a little drawing canvas. There's a toolbar, and there's a button here that I didn't click. It's toggle settings. This is a function, JavaScript function. If we go to the debugger, we can actually, I think we can see it. was it called? Save state, set tool, undo, start drawing, toggle settings. Here we are. Yeah. Anyway, I'm beating around the bush here. Let's just click this button. So this button shows us some background settings. We can set the color of the background to a nice salmon or a darker reddish pink. Or it allows us to set our own background using a hex code. Now this is interesting. If I do all F, which is black, I believe. No, it's white. All zeros is black. So that's kind of cool. We can, set our own background colors and all of that. Or we can set a URL to a PNG image. Well, that's interesting. You telling me I can set a background to whatever PNG image I want? What kind of that seems like a complicated bit of functionality, and also something that might not be implemented in the most secure way. Well, let me give this a shot real quick. Give me something to look up on Google Images. Any suggestions? Or screw it, I'll just look up.
Cat pictures.
Here, cat picture. Here, let's just get a cat, a little car. And if we here, let's open the link in the new tab and copy image link. And if we go back to the website, put it in here, hit apply. Oh, PNG image, right. Good eye there. Oh man. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Okay, you can play around with this on your own time. That's not what I'm worried about. But let's not wait too much time. Here's the deal. If we can put a file, if we can put a URL in here for a PNG image, that means the server has to make a request to that URL to download the PNG image, which probably means the server is. The question is, like, will the server only make requests to PNG images, or will it make requests to other websites? Now, if we want to test this, you can spin up your own server website and try that, or you could, well, actually, you can. No, you probably need to port forward. But here's what I was going to suggest. This is a website called requestcacher.com. Debug webhooks, HTTP clients, etc. You basically create a subdomain. I'll call it specific hackers.requestcacher.com. Get started. And what it's going to do is if you send any requests to this website, they should show up on this dashboard. And it shows an example down here. Curl is a command line tool used to send web requests. We just copy this and run it. Well, we got a GET request coming in from me. I think I just refreshed the page. But yeah, so using this request catcher, we can see when a request is being made to this link. So what if we just take this link and put it in the field with maybe a identifier and click apply. Would you look at that? It shows up on the website. So we've confirmed that by clicking apply, this backend web server sent a request to our request catcher. And this is not a URL to a PNG image, it's just an arbitrary URL. So that tells us that we can give URLs to the server that it will go and make requests to with little to no filtering or restrictions. Now, this is all interesting, but how do we exploit this? How do we do something nasty with this? Because like we can make them make requests out to Google, or make requests out to, like, we can send them to an OnlyFans page and try to mess with their logs or something. But like realistically, that's not a big deal. We're not accessing sensitive data or changing anything on the website side. So does anyone have any suggestions about how we might use this to mess with, say, files? Let's say there's a file running, a file in the same file system that the server is running on. Is there any way that we might be able to access that?
It's the word that you just used 6 times.
File?
File.
File. That's right. There's a protocol called file, the file protocol. File : / and then path to your file. Let's say etc password. Now, of course, just clicking apply here, it doesn't seem to be returning valid data to the server. It's clearly not showing up on our end. I've not been talking to the same time. But if we look at the source code, or the developer console, and go to network, reload the page. No, we don't need to reload the page. All we need to do is send the request again, and the request will show up in our network tab. If we click on it, it's making a request to set background. The request is this file, and the response is a JSON image with something that's called a data image, something that's specified to be a data image PNG. It's base64 encoded, as we can see here. As we learned from Malevsky, base64 is not an encryption scheme. We can decode it very easily. Let me just copy all of that, move it over to our good friend CyberChef. CyberChef, why do you have this third? Whatever. CyberChef, what is wrong with your UI? Okay. Let me try this. I need like page home. I got home. By the way, hitting the home key switches to the beginning of your text field, so you don't have to hold the left arrow and wait for the cursor to go all the way back through your previous command. You just copy paste it. Basically, I wanted to delete everything before the base64 and just decode the base64. And that looks like an etc password file. That's interesting. So, basically, to summarize what we just did, we sent a request to our Be Creative endpoint, asking it to download the image file etc password. It returned this image file, base64 encoded, and we decoded it, and it was the etc password file. This is a big problem because this is sensitive information, but it doesn't contain the flag. Now, we want to know, okay, we have to figure out where to find the flag, and sometimes CTF challenges will give you clues to that, hints. And other times CTF challenges aren't, and those aren't well-designed CTF challenges. I'm just going to be honest with you. Just some constructive criticism there. Your challenges should never require you to guess where to find the flag or what to do. Like, we've clearly proven that we can exploit this server, so it should be trivial to get the flag and get our points. So let's look at the source code that we were provided with. These are all the files we've been provided with. We have an Python application, probably Flask. We also have a Docker file. Let's look at that Docker file. For those who aren't familiar, Docker is a software that is used to compartmentalize specific programs so they can be run in any environment. They're kind of like very, very light virtual machines. In this one, we can see it's meant to be a Python program that's running. It installs Nginx, a web server, curl, which allows us to make web requests. It copies files here. It does some installation setup. And down here, this is a key term here. Environment flag equals fake flag for testing. So this right here doesn't give us the flag, but it shows us that the flag we are looking for is probably in an environment variable on the little Docker container that's running this challenge. So this tells us what we need to look for. We need the environment variables. But that's kind of disappointing because we know how to read files, but I'm not sure if we can read. I'm not sure if we can read environment variables. Can we? Does anyone have any suggestions as to what kind of requests we can make to read environment variables?
File request.
A file request? Yes. Which file in Linux contains environment variables?
/browse/1/environment.
What did you say?
/1/environment.
/1? Okay.
One will be like system.
This is inside Docker, so the
Oh, it's gonna be
the main process is the Docker process.
Okay. Yeah, so for those who don't know, on Linux systems, the proc directory contains file representations of running processes. That is the most I know. I know that this file should contain environment variables.
I think it's environment. Not that.
Right, yeah, that didn't sound... I thought it was environment too. Let me refresh the page. Proc1 environment. Click apply. We set this post request. We've got the response. I'm going to copy only the base 64. No, I'm going to copy everything. There are better tools in the developer console to work with. Just letting everybody know. The UI is not the best. Oh my God, bro. All right, base 64 decode. Echo. Just close that. Do the thing Alevsky showed us how to do. Delete all the extra stuff before. I'm sure you can come up with a more efficient way to do this, but you know, this gets us the answer. Okay, this is a little bit hard to parse, but it is a list of environment variables, including a flag. Ta-da!
Nice.
So yeah, we were able to read the environment variables from a file on the system and capture the flag. That's basically it. This is a vulnerability. It's called server-side request forgery, and it happens when the developers of a website don't recognize. They take user input and pass it to something that makes a request to another server, which on the surface seems like it wouldn't be that big of a deal until you realize what you can do, like make requests to other hidden servers on the local network or files. By the way, I highly recommend Portswigger Academy. They have some really good explanations and write-ups of these specific types of vulnerabilities. This is the one for server-side request forgery. You basically, I can post this link on the Discord server later, but you basically portswigger.net/web security. Yeah, that's basically all I really have to say about that. Anyone have any questions? All right, how's everyone doing so far? Anyone solve any challenges? That was a rhetorical question. I have the admin right, so I can see. All right, Sensei, thank you for good job completing that challenge and completing that one. We got Hub P. Whoever you are, you solved the base 64 one. .gu, very nice. And then the rest were front four. So yeah. That's all I have to say on that. We got 45 minutes yet left. We can take another quick break and then let Steve show us off.
Yeah, and for the new people, I just saw people coming and going. So since you came, we have stickers here. We have a drink that it was made for us tonight called Capture the Flag. I made the suggestion to be 1337. So he just said, "Oh, we don't do change, so we'll just keep it at 13." So this CTF, we had every year we do a barbecue and capture the flag, and and we gave away a DEFCON ticket. So again, for the ones
high stakes.
For the ones who are new, we have a meetup going on every month. We're just starting doing the ones in the city. We've been 8 years in South Bay, but we're going to start doing more here in SF. And please grab a sticker. And yeah, I think that's the next way.
Yeah, we can take like 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes, and then we're just gonna do the last challenge for the night. So, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I always myself first time.
no worries. Yeah, I'm letting So this I think we can compare a mirror to window, but like there are some joint mirrors, right? Like there have been some joint mirrors.
Yeah, some people don't want it.
No, here. That's an association. Okay.
Of course, be around and enjoy the Discord.
Let's do it.
because I'm drunk and not.
You can go just click. Hit enter. Go ahead.
All right, so hopefully you all are having fun and you are learning new stuff. This is gonna be, I think, the last one for the night. This is crypto level 3. Yeah, crypto level 3. These crypto challenges are kind of special because it's like you have to develop like some like muscle, right? Like some pattern recognition, in the sense of we try to, like avoid like user trying to guess as much as possible. But like a lot of these challenges is like once you have solved like a lot of them, you start paying a lot of attention on the numbers, right? A lot of attention on the patterns. Like you have to combine numbers, you have to build keys and stuff like that. So we're gonna do that now. So for level 3, what they are giving us basically is 2 strings and a set of dates. And you need to know that everything here is intentional, right? Every number, every date is part of the challenge. So we have a string, basically for encoded string that is called key. We have then like a message block that is another base64 encoded string. And allegedly we have to use some type of symmetric encryption to decrypt this message, right? So the first hint is there is a text here that says like for exclusive use of authorized personal first, right? So does anybody knows like what the challenge is asking you to do? Like a hint. The hint is right there, but does anybody has an idea? Or if not, it's fine. Yeah.
Sorry, exclusive order, but that one I had key.
Yes, so it's like intentionally using like XOR, like with these capital letters. So yeah, like what you have to do is basically take this key. Like we know, like first of all, like symmetric encryption is this whole family of crypto schemes that are like, like you need like you only has one key for encryption and decryption, right? There is this symmetric and asymmetric. So in this particular example, we focus on symmetric, meaning like they are giving us a key, but we can just like try this directly and see if it works. Like for example, we can go to this website that is called IS Encryption and Decryption Online. We can copy the encrypted text. We can copy the encrypted text, and then we can copy the key. And we can hop to see if that works. This is the key here. So, like all these other parameters, if you are interested about wanna go a little bit deeper, I highly recommend for you to go into investigate, like either on Wikipedia or Google or your favorite chatbot, to see what is the role that each one of those plays. Like what the CBC means. You click here and there is like a lot of different like cipher block modes. Like what is the difference between each one of them? What is the padding? What is the IB, initial vector? So that's the idea, right? That you go and go deeper, right? But for now, we're just gonna take what they gave us, which is the encrypted text and the password, and hit decrypt, right? And it's saying like, oh no, there is like an error, right? Like the key length is wrong, right? So it seems that we need to fix our key first. So let's go back to our challenge. So we already know that they are trying to give us something, which is like apply some XOR function. So we're going to go back to CyberChef, copy this here, and then CyberChef has like XOR function.
and it requires like some key, right? Again, I think it has like different representations. I'm gonna let this for now. So at this point, like you kind of, although we try for you not to guess, but if you have done these challenges, like the first thing that people usually do is grab like things like dates and concatenate them, right? Like see, like concatenate the year, the month, and the day, and try to come with a string for that. Like for example, here, and again, like I think I want base 64 for this. Sorry. I think what I want is July is 7, I guess, right? So like this. So I have the solution right here. So yeah. Oh yeah, hexadecimal, if I remember correctly. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of a little bit drunk.
I mean, it looks like you have to decode it from basic form to its points.
You're right. That's what I did last time. So yeah, like first we're taking the base64 key that is encoded. Here, this, yeah, again, like we learn what base64, we throw it into our CyberChef, we decode it, and then we apply the XOR function, right? Exclusive OR using the date. And then this is gonna give us a key, right? That is the same, the length that is required to perform the symmetric decryption using the IS CBC, which is the cipher block mode. So with that, I think now we can go back here, if I remember correctly. We can like play with these parameters, but honestly, if you just let everything as it is, using like empty initialization vector, key size is the same, you're gonna be able to decrypt this the ciphertext, right? And in the ciphertext, there's gonna be the flag, right? Which is symmetric encryption is cool. So you can just go, and if you're kind of stuck, this is gonna give you like some hints, right? Here, like for example, this is what you have to do to come with the key to XOR the base64 encoded key. But yeah, again, like this one is kind of like you need to know a little bit what you are doing, which is like all the hints about symmetric encryption, know the elements, know possible a little bit of like website that you can, because you can do all of this through coding, but there is a lot of websites that you can use, and there is also, I believe you can also use decrypt this in CyberChef, right? Although I haven't tried, but I'm pretty sure it's possible. So this is the third level. It's pretty short once you know the answer. And with that, I don't know if you have any questions, right? Any questions about that?
Can I just make sure, I didn't understand it, so I just want to make sure I got it. Like you decode the key, base64, then you XOR it against the date, which you just has to transform to a numeric representation, and then that gives you the key which you use to decrypt the message.
Yeah, that's correct. Because
okay.
yeah, symmetric encryption requires the single key. The key is that, right? Like this is the key. That the key is the same for encryption and decryption because it's symmetric, right? And kind of the most difficult part of the challenge is kind of like get that you need to apply the XOR operation, right, on this, right? Yes?
I think we also have hints for this one.
There is one?
I noticed we have hints for this challenge too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The hint is that there is two parts of this challenge. So first part is to try to compute the key. the decryption key, and then the second part is just use IS decryption, right? And also the expected format, right? This one I think is pretty obvious. That you
It's all very obvious in retrospect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I would have not gotten thinking about that in a long time.
Yeah, I think we have one person that solved it. And actually, they also give us feedback because there is this fine line between, like making the user to guess that much that becomes annoying. Like, this is like, you have to guess that much that this is objectively a bad challenge. So we have to balance that all the time, right? So yeah, like that's the idea. Like every crypto challenge will teach you about like an aspect of cryptography. Like first one, base 64 is not encoding. Then we have hashing message authentication code. Then this one is symmetric cryptography. The next ones are asymmetric cryptography, and so on, right? So any additional questions about this challenge, the platform, how it works? Would you like to do a challenge in the future? We're open for that. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
We're actually looking.
That's what I forgot to mention. Alevsky and I, along with a couple other CTF developers, built this CTF across all of last year, and now we want to open it up to the rest of you. If any of you have interesting ideas that you want to create into a challenge and share with everyone, maybe if it's like a niche project or skill set you have, maybe you're into like cloud DigitalOcean hacking or Active Directory or something that you don't feel like a lot of people know about, we are totally open to sort of contributions we want to include and work with you and putting them in the platform, and then you'll get credit for it at Hacker Bay and future events.
Yeah, and one thing that is always important to remember, and something that we have done with Marco and the other is, like maybe you know something that you think is pretty obvious and everybody knows, right? But it's because you have been doing it for the last 5-10 years, right? So it's pretty easy for you, but maybe for others, it's the first time that they are gonna try something like that. So there is always an opportunity to learn and to teach. So that's why we're doing this kind of like call for challenges, I guess, like in case you wanna contribute.
And not just for call for challenges, but also call for, presenting at one of the meetups, right? Especially since we're gonna be doing more in the city. If you want something, share something that, again, maybe the person next to you doesn't know, right? That might be your expertise, and the person next to you just wants to learn. So, yeah, share that moment. So with that, just want to thank you all for coming tonight. Again, this was our first meetup in the city, and we're looking to have more of this. And remember, Thursday is our joint event with WIS's CCSF chapter in San Francisco Community College. And then Friday we have an event, a Valentine's event in Oakland. And Saturday we have our South Bay meetup as well. So, yeah. With that, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you for coming.
And again, there's the stickers here, and yeah.
We've already covered a lot of challenges. But I guess, Alevsky, should we open it up? Like, we covered a lot of challenges, and we don't want to overwhelm you with too much at a certain point, but we still have about a half hour left. So, like, going through those challenges, are there any, like, that any of you might be interested in seeing hints to, or examples, like maybe the binary implementation or the miscellaneous ones? Yeah, fair enough. the other ones are pretty involved and might take a little while to get through, but yeah, we basically got through everything we had planned. Last time we went a little bit longer.
Yeah, it took us 5 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Cool. I guess that's it then. Yeah. Thanks for coming, everyone. And the CTF will be open for at least.
Yeah, it's open until tomorrow, but we can extend it.
Yeah. So feel free to work on it if you're on time.
Yeah.
Marco, where were we?
For it, women only, you can up for it, anyone else can.
Yeah. So come on.
Hey man, thank you much for coming. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, for sure. I have to be there. You're the one running, it's okay. I have to be there. Even if I don't want to, I have to be there. The little ones, okay. Well, basically, you have this.
Yeah, luckily, like, I'm really impressed by the challenges that they were made. They're really involved.
No alcanzo a ver. No alcanzo a ver bien. Pero como que no tiene batería.
Yeah.
Oh, pero es que
Sí, necesita batería. No, están chidas, te digo que se parecen un poco a las de Dinosaur.
Yeah, and I
Flash Fighter.
Yeah, we've run these a couple times and gone through some revisions like that crypto challenge, like crypto 3, we get to
you can keep those
yeah,
for you, and then
Oh, yeah.
actually put all that in that bag, and then some of the
Yeah,
other,
that's
in fact,
that's one
actually
thing
keep
I like
the
about
people.
it. Look at the content.
Because I just ordered
All the resources they give you. Never CTF.
I just ordered
Use everything you just go.
but bring them on Thursday.
Yeah.
Wait, what's happening?
The meetup.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought it was Friday. Wait, what's my name?
Friday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday,
Yeah,
and
so that
Saturday.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, it could probably be designed a little bit better.
Okay.
But that's what's really probably our challenges.